Alright, boys and girls, let's move on to the next area. We're now moving into OSPF. The first one that we hit up, if you go through the lab book, is Lab 3.1. It is the OSPF virtual links. So the virtual link, basically in a nutshell, what it does is connects a area in OSPF that is not directly connected to Area 0. As you recall, anything that is in OSPF, it has to connect to the backbone somehow. If you look at the topology here, we have our backbone area here, OSPF area 0, our loopback 2 on router 2 is part of it. So this is our ABR here because it connects area 0 as well as area 23. And then down here on router 3 is also connected to area 23. And then we have our fun one here, area 100. So as you see here, area 100 does not directly connect to area 0. So to fix this, even though it's not ideal, is we want to provide a virtual link from area 100 over to router 2, which is our ABR to area 0. So essentially what we do is go into router 3, and give a command forward to area 23 because it's going to connect here. So we'll use the area 23, do a virtual link to router 2, and then vice versa. And then it'll come up with a new interface, which is called VL0, sorry. Stands for virtual link 0. And that'll come up, and then that'll give us our link over. So as always, as I usually do with our topology, I have all the IP addresses and all that stuff listed in our routers. I did not do any OSPF configuration yet. I figured I'd go through that, let the adjacencies come up, and then we will start doing the virtual link. And then we'll also play around with a default information originate. Because I can see down here on loopback 30 on router 1 is supposed to simulate our internet link. This will not be advertised into OSPF. We will do essentially a default route and shoot that through the rest of the network, and then router 3 should be able to connect to it through the default route that will be sent out from router 1. And we'll also do a little bit of summarization, since as you see here, 100 through 103, we can summarize this out and kind of clean up the routing table a little bit. So let's get started. Router 1, so we're going to go to router OSPF 1, and we're going to do network 10.1.12.0. Alright, and that's all we got on that one. Let's move on to router 2. We should get a adjacency here. Make sure my links are up here. 12, yeah, that one's up. I did have some mistypes on one of my other routers, so I was going through before I started this video to try to fix those. I want to make sure that my stuff actually came back up correctly. 23, 10 and 12. What was I just in? 12, all right. Well, router I was just in, could have sworn I just configured that. I didn't see my other router there. Router 3 is in, router 1. 112. Yeah, it'd do it, wouldn't it? Thought it was in router 2. So you really got to watch when you do commands, because you can screw some stuff up, and had this been prod, I could have been in some trouble. Let's go back in here. No, now we're 10.1.2.0. 12. Okay, so that one's good. Let's get out of there. Put that away. Alright, let's try this again. Network 10.1.12.0. Now we should get an adjacency. Yay! Helps when you're in the right router, huh? So we got that one. So now we need to do area 23. We're 10.1.23.0. Area 23. Minimize this down. We'll go to router 3. We should get another adjacency. There we go. We have our neighbor. It's full. We'll go there. We'll go to router 2. Should get the same there. OSPF. It's new routing protocol. Alright, so we got our 2 neighbors there on router 2. Go to router 1. Lucky route. We should have 10.1.23. 10.1.23. 10.1.23.3. We can ping across. We can ping router 3's interface. So far, so good. Now, we need to set up our area 100. Alright, to do this easy, we could go through and do 100/24, 101/24, 102/24, keep doing all these network statements. Or, since these are summarized together, let's see here, 100, 103, that's 2 bits back, so 255, 254, 252. Area 100. There we go. So we just summarize all those together, make it a little bit easier. And we can go to router. This may show it. No, not yet. Okay, let's get our virtual link going, and then that should be good. All right. So to do our virtual link, we've got 2 routers that we got to touch here, router 2 and router 3. So we're essentially going to, which this thing had a marker tool on it. Anyway, so we're going to take, essentially go into router 3, say, hey, area 23, you're going to do a virtual link over to router 2 for area 100. And then kind of vice versa for router 2. Hey, I'm going to make a virtual link from router 2 in area 23 over to router 3 for area 100. Command is actually pretty easy. So we're going to do area 23, virtual link. Alright. And we're going to give it the router address, the router ID of our neighbor, which actually I did not set up a router ID. It will essentially use the highest IP address that is in there. If we look back at our neighbors, do show IP OSPF neighbor. So essentially we'd be looking at 103.1 since that is our highest IP address. But let's make this a little bit easier. Router ID 2222 for router 2. So process out so we can get a new router ID. things will bounce. Router ID 3333. Do clear IP OSPF process. Sure. And we'll do the same thing for router 1. Router ID 1111. Do clear IP OSPF process. Yes. That should make things a little bit nicer. 111. So let's do a do show IP OSPF neighbor. That's better. 11113333 makes it a little bit easier. So now what we'll do is area 23 virtual link, and we're going to go to router 3, which is 3333. All right. We don't have to do any authentication. We're not worried about that. It's a little more advanced stuff, but we don't necessarily have to for this particular lab. We'll set that up. Now we'll do the same thing here. Area 23, virtual link, point it back to router 2. And we should get a virtual link 0 come up. There we go. You can see there, OSPF VL0 virtual link 0. So now, IP route. Now we are seeing our 192.168.100 through 103 showing up for area 100. And if we look back at router 1, we show IP route. We're seeing it here as well. So everything is fully converged. We have the full network on all the routers. Let's say 100.1, and we can ping. But there's one other thing that we can do to clean this up a little bit, because that's getting a little crazy. Not as crazy if we had, 5,000 routes, but we can clean that up a little bit. It'll help with the CPU memory processes on the routers. Let's summarize that out. So let's do area 100, range, area 100, range. Now we do our summarized network. 192.168. 100.0, 255.255.252.0. Does that want a wildcard or is it regular? Yeah, it's regular. That's what I thought. Alright. And that is it. So we don't have to change the cost or anything. Advertise as default, so we can just hit enter and it'll advertise out. There we go. So that is advertised. So now let's do a show IP route again, and our table should be a little bit cleaner. There we are. So now we have a /22 instead of 4 /24s. A little bit nicer. We can ping across. We can still ping. It's just a little bit cleaner. So now what we can do, as I said before, we have a internet connection hanging off loopback 30. Right now, router 3 does not know how to get to there. So we can try pinging, ping, oops, up, 172.30.30.1. Doesn't know how to get there. We do not have a default route. Again, we can verify that. Show IP route. We have no gateway of last resort. So the next thing we can do, let's do a default information originate. And we can do always metric type route map. So we just want to always advertise this default route. That way it always has a default route for our network. Okay. That has been sent out. So let's do a show IP route again. Look at our gateway of last resort. Boom. Network 0000. External type 2. Default route going out to 10.1.23.2, which is out to here, which then from there going to send out to router 1. So if we go back to router 3, ping 172.33.1 again. Now we got a default route, and we can ping the internet, quote unquote. That's pretty much all there is for that one. So it's pretty straightforward. For a virtual link itself, it's essentially 2 commands. Area whatever, in this case area 100, virtual link, and then point to your neighboring address on either side. So from 3 to 2 and 2 to 3. And then your virtual link interface comes up. And then there you go. As I said before, it's not an ideal thing to do. If you have multiple areas hanging off of your network, say you have one coming out and you have another router here like router 4, then try and do a virtual link over and then another virtual link over, it gets a little messy, so any troubleshooting begins to be a bit of a pain in the butt. So eliminate that as much as possible. In this case, what you could do is if you're able to run a direct link from router 3 to router 1, that way you can bypass the virtual link completely, and then mess with your metrics and stuff like that to make sure that you're going the correct path for whatever route you're trying to get to. That's pretty much all there is for that one. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to hit me up. And I did see a comment from one of the other labs. I believe it was the eGrip load balancing. That's for GNS3 files, and the actual iOS that I use for the routers. Now I will show you what I actually use on here. Preferences, I believe. iOS routers. So this is what I use for my router. This is a 7200 Advanced Enterprise K9 MZ1524S7. So that's the one I use for my routers. The 7200s appeared to be the only thing that really worked well on the on this version of GNS3. So I kind of stuck to this one. And then what I do for my adapters, I just do the PA4T Plus on slot 1 and slot 2, and then my fast Ethernet in there as well. And I kind of keep that as my template. That way I have all my serial links between, and also have my fast Ethernet. It seems to work out pretty well setting it up this way. So hopefully that answered that question. As far as the GNS3 files themselves, I will try to find a repository to upload the files. So if you want a GNS3 file for this one as well, so you have kind of a template to start with, I can do that as well. Like I said, let me try to find a repository, and then I'll start providing links within the description to get those up. As always, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment up, tell me how I'm doing, and have a good one.